It is perhaps the most defining phrase of ethical life in the Western world. But in an increasingly divided world, do we actually understand what it means? This is the history of Matthew 22 verse 39. Love your neighbor as yourself. To understand this powerful origin, we must travel back nearly 2,000 years to the volatile religious landscape of first-century Jerusalem. Who captured these words? Historically, the early church attributed this text to Matthew, Levi, a former tax collector turned disciple. Modern scholars view the gospel as technically anonymous, likely written in Greek by a highly educated Jewish Christian leader. Most experts place the writing of Matthew between 80 and 90 AD, a pivotal, fragile moment in history. The defining event of this generation was the brutal Roman destruction of the Jerusalem temple in 70 AD. The Jewish world was in mourning and transition. The community Matthew was writing to was caught between their deep Jewish heritage and their new faith in Jesus, facing intense pressure from local Pharisaic authorities. The context of the verse is a theological trap. Jesus is in Jerusalem, just days before his death. A young religious lawyer approaches to test him. The lawyer asks, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment?" It was a dangerous question. There were 613 laws to choose from. Jesus doesn't choose just one. He connects two pillars. The first, love God. And the second is like it. Matthew 22 verse 39 is not new. Jesus is directly quoting from the Torah, specifically Leviticus 19 verse 18. This command is simple to say, but how it has been interpreted has shaped millennia of human ethics. The most common interpretation is the universalist view. Neighbor does not mean those who live next door, it means all of humanity. The love described here is not philia, brotherly love, or eros, romantic love. It is agape, a selfless, proactive, sacrificial goodwill that acts for the well-being of the other. The standard of care is defined by ourselves. We naturally protect our own survival and dignity. We are asked to extend that identical shield to others. A popular modern wellness-focused interpretation suggests the psychological prerequisite: you cannot truly love your neighbor until you first love yourself. Historically, however, the original context of Leviticus was restrictive. In the Bronze Age, neighbor specifically meant your fellow Israelite community, excluding foreigners and enemies. But Jesus, through other teachings like the Good Samaritan, radically expanded this circle, demanding the love of stranger and enemy alike. This was a revolutionary act. Many theologians interpret the like it clause to mean these two commands are symbiotic. Love of God is invisible, but it must be made visible through the love of the person standing right in front of you. This ethical framework, known also as the Golden Rule, is a shared cornerstone across almost all major world religions, making it a universal blueprint for wellness. Matthew 22 verse 39 remains a simple yet profound demand on the human heart. It bridges the gap between our internal faith and our external actions. It suggests that true spiritual wellness isn't found in isolation, but rather in the difficult, brave, and sacrificial work of loving others.
I think we finally have an understanding.
I leave you with this question. How do you love your neighbor?